All right. Is there a running back controversy brewing with fans at the University of Colorado? And what are we going to do to get our running game back on track? We're going to review some video today, all that and more on Alpine Garage Sports. All right, guys. Now, first of all, I want to say this. Do not freak out. The University of Colorado does not have a running back problem, okay? The fans do. And I'm going to say that right now. We do. You and me and all of us have a problem right now. And because what we are doing is we are blaming running backs for our running game. So let's stop with that right now. And I'm going to bring you some video. I'm going to bring you 3 plays that will help better define what we're looking at and reset expectations for the CSU game. So first, let me get started. In forums and live chats, I've been noticing that Charlie Offerell's name has been basically drugged through the dirt. You know, this guy has been praised for years. The University of Colorado, Coach Primus picked him up. Every coach has picked him up. All of his teammates have picked him up and said that he is a leader amongst leaders. And therefore, we're going to start him this year at running back. On this show, and probably on many other shows and in the forums and chats, not a lot of people believe that Charlie is the best running back we have. I'm included in that, right? I think he's a good running back, and I think he's also a good leader on the team. He has his spot on the team, and so does everybody else, right? I wanted to see him start the season just because of all of the hard work, effort, and leadership he's put into this. Not to mention that I want to see what he can do in a real game environment, especially with what we got going on here. But the same with everybody else. Obviously, I think Dallan is going to be our most prolific runner this year. I said it for game 1. I said it after we went through the open practice. And then also I wanted to see in the first game, Colorado open up all of the running backs because we had all the running backs. They were eligible to play. We didn't run hardly any of them except for Draylen Miller, with exception of Charlie and Dallan. And I want to see Brandon Hood in a game environment, and I want to see Isaiah Agustave in a game environment. There's no reason why we wouldn't. These are all very good backs. We don't know what we're missing by not putting them in. We're not losing anything by not putting them in, right? So I think most of us are on the same page. We want to see everybody, right? But what we should not do is throw any of them under the bus right now because it is not the running back's fault. That's the reason why we suck as a running team right now. And I'm going to prove that in this video that I'm going to show you. Okay. So first, let's go through some stats. Against NDSU, Charlie was 5 for 15, which is 3 yards per average carry. Not good. Terrible, right? Dallan Hayden was 9 for 20. He got the majority of the carries, almost double what Charlie did. Ended up with a 2.22 average carry. Okay. After that, I saw, and a lot of people that I know saw lots of disparaging comments about Charlie ain't the man, Charlie's trash, blah, blah, blah. No one said anything about Dallan, but Charlie had a greater average carry than Dallan did, right? So we're jumping off, and I think it's because he was listed as the starter, okay, even though he didn't technically start. I thought, okay, this is just a one-game thing, right? We're going to empty the running backs onto the field, and we're going to see what everybody can do. We're going to come up with a good running game, right? Nebraska comes. Charlie is 4 for 4, 1 yard per average carry. This is when everything just starts getting lit on fire, right? Dallan is 5 for, I think, 35. I didn't write that down, 35 or 36. And when you break it down, Charlie was 1 for 6, so he got 6 yards on 1 carry. He had 2 fourth down run plays, which we're going to go over in just a second. And I'm going to show you why no running back in our quiver would have made that first down. I can guarantee it that it would not have happened. And then Dallan had 4 rushes out of 5, 4 for 15 yards. That's a 3.75 average carry, better than Charlie did. Heck yeah, right? But 3.75, are we considering that awesome, right? He had 1 for 17, and I'm going to show you that 1 for 17. I'm going to show you that play as well because that is the exact opposite of what we were doing on 4th down. There were some really good parts in that we need to replicate, but it was done when we were at 28-3. Their defense was so soft. I don't know that any of our running backs couldn't have made that run, right? But Dallan made an amazing run, and I want to show you one specific thing that Dallan did that really capped that run and just warmed my heart from a guy that loves the running game, right? So let's get straight to the footage here. And so this is the first 4th and 1. This is in the latter part of or actually, this is in the middle of the first quarter. This is our second series. The first series, Nebraska's interior tackles on defense absolutely stuffed us, right? The second series, they absolutely stuffed us again. Hutchmacher, number 0, is a wall of man. And we knew that going in. We saw it in the first 2 series, but we still at some point decided that we wanted to go for a 4th and 1 when we could have tried kicking a field goal, even though, I don't know, maybe they didn't have confidence in our field goal team, even though we hadn't tried to kick a field goal yet that I'm aware of. So at this point, we just want to try a 4th and 1 just to establish our dominance, right? And this, in my opinion, I was screaming at the TV, do not go for it on 4th down here. Don't go for it on 4th down unless we're kicking a field goal. And we still did. And this is what we were set up with. We were set up with a 10 personnel. Okay. So we have 1 running back, 0 tight ends. And guys, we have tight ends, right? We have a tight end that came from OSU that has some game experience. We also have 2 edges, which are very physical players. One of them is an ex 5-star player that we know can be physical, that is listed as the starting tight end that we didn't have on this play, right? Mistake, right? Now I want to show you a couple of other things on this play that maybe you didn't see to begin with, okay? Look down there, Jimmy, right? Jimmy is going to go in motion here. So I'm going to put this in motion so you can see what's happening. Okay, why is Jimmy in motion unless we are going to be throwing the ball? Okay, maybe he's in motion because he's going to take out that edge that's on the left side there. But Jimmy's not our biggest player. He's a strong player, but he's not our biggest player. If we had had a tight end in that position, that would have made more sense if this was going to be a design run play. It is not. It's an RPO. So here we go. Ball is in motion. Our front line makes 0 penetration. Look at that. Bam. Just like that. Bam. Just like that. Every Nebraska front lineman is in our second, is behind the line, right? We are stuffed. Zelinkas is absolutely smashed on this play, right? Jimmy runs right by the edge, probably because that was not his designed block right there. He was actually running out to the flat thinking that this could be a pass to him. If you look down, Travis doing the same thing. Travis is not blocking. Travis is thinking the ball. He's looking back at Shedeur, trying to decide what Shedeur is going to do. Shedeur holds on to the ball, holds on. Finally, he releases it right there. Okay. Charlie is already in motion. He is headed for what he thinks is going to be a gap that's going to be between the tackles. The problem is, look at that giant man with the number 0 on his back. Comes through that line like no one was trying to block him. And Charlie sees him, cuts back, right? Because he knows that Hutchmacher is going to cut him off from going to the right. And then what do we have? We have the edge standing there waiting for Charlie. Charlie may have been able to run around him, but then we have a defensive back stacked up right behind him. And then as you can see, Charlie is eaten up. Tell me a back in this scenario that is going to win this battle, right? First, we are in shotgun. So we're making Charlie or any running back in that situation run 5 to 6 yards to get 1 yard, right? Second, we know their interior D is just going to stack us up. They've been doing it all game for the first 2 series that we had. I don't know why this would be any different, especially when they know we're going to be running the ball or think we're going to be running the ball. We are in 10 formation when we could have been in 11 formation, had 1 tight end, or even 12 or 13 personnel, 12 or 13 personnel, and had all of our tight ends in the game and really made a giant push, right? Or been in 11 personnel and had the tight end in motion, which would have made a lot of sense if you're in the shotgun. Then you can follow the tight end through the gap, right? Or the tight end could take out that edge and you'd have an opportunity around the left side. So there's a lot of opportunities there when you're in a run design play. This was obviously not a run design play. And honestly, I don't know that either Jimmy and or Travis would have been open in that scenario. That could have been another pick 6 right there. So it's probably a good thing we didn't try to pass it, but the run obviously failed. But how is this Charlie Offerdahl's fault? Right? It's not. I don't know anybody who would disagree with that statement. Although if you do, go ahead and put it down in the comments, right? So let's move forward to the second fourth down play. Let's get through this because this is disgusting and I don't want to see it anymore. And let's get to the second fourth down run that we did. Now we are in 11 personnel. We have a tight end right here. Okay, tight end right here. And what he's going to do now is he's going to take this player right here and drive him into the inside to basically clog up this hole right here. Okay, that's what's going to end up happening here. Now, here is the shame in this is that, again, it looks like an RPO. Shedeur is going to hold on to this ball right here for way too long trying to make a decision. We're in shotgun, which is hard to do in the first place. The box is stacked with all the linebackers. Ball is hiked. Again, zero penetration, guys. Do you see any penetration by our offensive line? Like, there are almost no holes lined up. Now, Shedeur still has the ball. He still has the ball, right? You've got an open receiver technically on the right side up there. So that could have been an option right there because the defensive back is not engaging him. The defensive back is actually running into the center there. And then at the last second, lets it go, and Charlie gets eaten up right there by the linebacker. Okay? So when Shedeur is holding onto the ball that long, how is Charlie going to get free? Okay? He may have seen the edge over here on the left side. He may have seen that left side, that edge was coming around and decided to go ahead and go through the hole. But that linebacker where that hole was originally designed, right there, Charlie sees that hole between 31 and the center right there. Charlie sees that hole. He's headed towards that hole. Linebacker fills that hole. He's like, oh, crap, this is going to hurt. Bang. He's down. He's done, right? So tell me another running back in that scenario when you're getting the ball literally 1 yard away from a defensive back or from a linebacker that's going to basically smash you. Who's going to make that difference, right? I mean, maybe one of the bigger backs could have broken that tackle and still made it through the hole. And that's where I'm saying that Charlie was not the right back in this situation. We needed a bigger back or we needed a blocking back right in front of him. And basically that tight end basically collapsed that pocket all the way down that hole, which may have been by design. I don't know, but that's where Charlie was going. So I just wanted you to see this up close, right? Now let's speed past this and let's go to Dallan's run at the end of the third quarter, which was his 17-yard run, which was the bright and shiny spot of our running game. Shotgun formation. Dallan's about 3 yards behind Shedeur, right? Standard formation. We've got 4 wide. Linebackers are way, 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 way off the line. So they're expecting pass, it looks like, right here. Okay. Shedeur grabs the ball. This is an obvious designed running play. Okay. Here we go. The receivers are not running. The receivers are in blocking formation right there. Dallan gets the ball. I don't know if that's the edge or their defensive back that overran the play a little bit, thinking that Shedeur might still have the ball. Maybe that was his assignment. But I want you to look a little bit harder. Look at the offensive line. When we come off the line here, these guys get penetration. Watch this. Bang. And we're moving people. We already have one past the line of scrimmage going the other direction, right? The other 2 we bottled up over on the left side and contained them so that Dallan could find this hole. And Dallan sees that happening. So Dallan sees that happening. He also sees that guard running right down the middle there, going to engaging that middle linebacker, and he's going to follow him right straight through that hole. Make a small cutback to kind of engage that defensive back because he knows he can blast through him, blast through the second. This is the genius of Dallan Hayden right here. From about right here was him. Missed tackle. Missed tackle. Okay. Those guys didn't tackle him. He just basically he tripped and fell down on his cutback right there. So Dallan made an amazing run right there. Now that amazing run was afforded by the fact that we were down 28-3 and they were a little soft in their defense, especially because we've been throwing it all day long. They're expecting us to throw it. Dallan took advantage of that and showed us exactly the reason why we wanted him and the reason why he's here. Okay. Now, does that make Dallan the best back in our group? Looking at that run, he looks like the best back in our group right there, right? But it's not born on. I wanted to make sure that we were all under the understanding that this is a completely different setup than Charlie was given in that game. And when Charlie did get something similar, he got 6 yards out of it, which is, if we can get 6 yards out of a carry, that'd be great. Now, this is where I need to see where we're at. Why are we crucifying, it seems like, running backs in this situation when it obviously isn't the running backs? It is the coaching and the formations that we're running 10 personnel in running plays against defenses that eat people is not the way to do it, in my opinion. Okay. Now, it's been proven in this second scenario in the fourth down. In the first scenario, we were in 10 formation. Second scenario, we were in 11 formation. They finally got a tight end in there. But my point is that we were learning through the game, but the net result was the same because we held onto the ball way too long. Quarterback held onto the ball way too long. And the holes were being filled faster than we could get to him because we were running out of shotgun. Now, going forward, CSU, right? You guys have heard it from me if you watch this channel. I believe we should be running 30 plus times a game. Now, that is sacrilege when you're talking about the fact that we have one of the best college quarterbacks, right? Everybody says that. We need to play to our strengths. I'm telling you, if we don't run 30 times, we're not going to win very many of these games because we are asking Shedeur to do way too much. And our line gave up 6 sacks against Nebraska, gave up 8 sacks last year. He can't continue to get hit like this. And we need to run that ball so that it gives him an opportunity to open up the passing game a little bit. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, guys. If we hand off the ball and we get 0 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, it's okay. That happens. That happens to the best running teams in America. But they get up and they do it again. And they get up and they do it again. Sometimes when we pass, we don't catch the ball, right? But it doesn't keep us from passing more. We need to continue doing this 30 times a game. We need to commit to the run, and we need to use all of our running backs. We need to use all of them, guys. We have no idea what we can do until we can see what we can do. And we, for 2 years, have not given any responsibility to the run game. I don't even know I see us practicing it, but do we really practice it? Do we really put the effort into practicing it that we need to? And maybe that's not what we're using it. Maybe it's because we are out looking at the way our penetration got on our offensive line, which is supposed to be a much better offensive line. And when you look at the individual players on the line and the coaching that we have now for it, everything reads to this is a better offensive line. So why aren't we practicing this more? I don't understand it. It needs to change for this upcoming game against CSU because they are going to run the ball. They showed it against their first 2 opponents, especially in this last game. They are going to run the ball. We need to do it too, or we're going to end up with a 17-minute deficit like we did in the first 2 games of time of possession. We can't do that to our defense. We can't keep our defense out there for an extra 17 minutes a game because we are not controlling the football. Okay? So how? Run it 30 times. We need to run it 150 plus yards a game. If we don't do that, I think it's going to be tough against some of these better teams at the end of the year like Utah. And we could even be upset in some cases when we don't need to be if we could just get that mix right. So this was a little bit of a rant. And I'm not saying anything negative about anybody. The players are the players. They're trying to do the best they can, but they have to be put into scenarios where they're going to be successful. And if we don't practice this, if we don't get it right, if we don't commit to it, they will never have an opportunity to shine. And all of those great transfers that we had come in for running backs and all of those great recruits that we had come in for running backs, they're all going to leave at the end of the season if we can't show that we can commit to the run. Why would they stay if they're just going to block the entire time? I don't understand it, guys. Help me understand in the comments. What do you feel? Is any of what I'm saying, do you agree with? Do you disagree with any of it? Let's talk about it and get this right before CSU. That is a wrap from Alpine Garage Sports. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like on your way out. Post a comment. Let me know how you feel, and we'll see you in the next video.